Shoot, I have the thought for the day. So if I were to say to you, I'm going to pay my respects, you would presume that I would be going where? To a funeral, to a wake, or a velorio or something. So we always kind of restrict that expression, pay your respects, to a grieving moment, to giving consolation and accompanying somebody who's experienced a loss. And, you know, in the last 3 weeks, I've said that phrase a lot for going to 3 different funerals. So you pay your respects, but, you know, part of that expression should be wider, and I think that's what we learn here at Homeboy, that you pay your respects, which is to say, you pay some loving awareness, you bring some loving attention to another person, primarily, but also to things in your life. You can pay your respects to difficulties and to annoying things and irritating things. You can be curious about them. You can meet them with respect and a loving attention and awareness. But it's a thing that you can practice every single day, where you pay your respects to the other person. It's not in that fake, shallow, empty way like neighborhoods and prison, and it's not about that. It's about the real deal. It's about paying respect to people. So I was privileged to go to Houston with Gabriel and George, and 37 years old, and hadn't been on a plane before, and we were flying there, and Gabriel turns to me at one point and says, when we arrive at the airport, will there be somebody there with a sign, you know, at the bottom of the escalator, and the sign says, G, George, and Gabriel. And they were disappointed to learn that we were going to rent a car, you know, so. But everybody wants to have people pay their respects, you know, to meet them with kind of an attentive love and a loving awareness. Everybody wants people to be waiting at the bottom of an escalator with a sign with their name on it. So we get to the airport, and we're in Houston Airport, and I think one of them may have been wearing like a Homeboy shirt, and so this woman goes up to the two of them and says, wow, Homeboy Industries, I love Homeboy Industries. And the two of them start to engage her as we're walking towards the exit, and Gabriel points at me and he says, well, do you know who he is? And she goes, no. And as Elvis and Lamai would say, thank you very much. So then we, we have a good time and stay in this hotel, a historic hotel, and we go eat, and as George texts his brother, we ate lavishly, he said. And we were walking into a barbecue place, and so we overhear 2 homeless guys say, they're his bodyguards. Which was kind of true. And then the 2 of them were on a panel at this conference in Houston on re-entry, really, and how do we greet people, returning citizens. And I'm in the audience watching them, and it's the 2 of them with 3 other folks from Houston who had returned to the community. And George, both of them talked about the experience of walking through those doors. And George said, you know, you walk through those doors and you can breathe the aroma of kinship. So I told him I was going to steal that line, and indeed I just did. So, and Gabriel said when he walked through those doors, first person he saw was Robert Juarez, and Robert knew him from back in the day, you know. And Robert goes, whoa, what are you doing here? And Gabriel said, I want to change my life. And Robert looked at him and said, no, really, what are you doing here? Got a big laugh. And he said he walked through those doors, and he saw that in this room were all these smiling people. And he said, I want what they have. So as they finished speaking, a guy sitting next to me, he goes, whoa, George and Gabriel are amazing. And indeed they were. And this room full of strangers decided to pay their respects by giving them a standing ovation. And George afterwards said, Yeah, something kicked in on this trip. And what it is really is what happens to you when we pay respects. You suddenly embody your own sovereignty, your own nobility, your own power. We should not restrict paying our respects to the grieving moment, or the final moment, or the loved one who's been lost. We can decide today to pay loving attention to everything, including the difficulty in our life, or that annoying thing, or that irritation. But above all, we can decide today to pay attention, to bring loving awareness to each other, and in that way, pay our respects.